Hey guys, Anthony here. It's been a while since I've been on camera with you all. I've been working on my new channel, and obviously, the raid at the lodge, big news happened a little bit over a month ago. A lot of people were reaching out to me asking me to do a video on it, a breaking news style video right off the bat. And it's a month later now, and I'm finally getting to it. I didn't want to do the breaking news style. There's a few reasons. First of all, at the time that this was all going down, I really didn't have any additional information that I was going to be able to add. I wasn't there when it happened. I was hearing reports, all kinds of speculation. There was lots of rumors swirling around, lots of confusion over this, that, and the other thing. And I didn't feel like I had anything extra that I could add at the time that would make sense. And I didn't want to do the breaking news style and kind of make light of the situation. Look, I get that, Doug Polk, he's a polarizing figure, right? Some people love him, some people don't, they can't stand him. He's obviously, built his brand on kind of, going after people in his videos. And I get it, some people don't like him. But at the end of the day, the lodge is more than just Doug Polk, right? It's over 100, employees. You've got dealers, you've got floor people, you've got cage people, you've got wait staff, you've got front desk staff, you've got cleaning crews, you've got security, you've got the live stream people, So the lodge isn't just Doug Polk. It's over 100 people who are out of work, are they had their lives turned upside down, and I didn't really want to make light of that. I didn't think that would be appropriate. On top of that, you've got a lot of people have obviously rallied behind the lodge and feel like this is an overstep by the authorities and that this is a witch hunt and they're grasping at straws. And there have also been a fair share of people piling on and rooting against the lodge in the social media channels. And at the end of the day, there's the lodge is also a community of thousands of players who have come together to battle it out on the felt in tournaments and cash games. They've done a lot of tremendous things in a market oversaturated with watered down live streams. They're one of the top tier live streams in the market. They've done a tremendous job of building that because it's really hard to do. I've done live stream commentary on a number of other, a number of other properties, and you'd get 50 viewers, 120 viewers, and it was just it wasn't the product that the lodge was putting out. So kudos to them for putting together an amazing product like that. The lodge obviously still remains closed at this time. The money laundering charges that the authorities were initially putting in their search warrant, I think it was, or affidavit, have been dropped, so they're not pursuing that anymore, it seems. But while no charges have been filed against anyone, it's kind of scary because Poker News on April 9th had put out a post that shared some stuff that I'll put up on the screen here. But essentially, it's concerning stuff, so I'll read it now. The investigation established that Tempest Holdings Incorporated, doing business as the Lodge Card Club, was receiving an economic benefit other than personal winnings by charging membership fees and seat fees for individuals to gamble. In addition, Affiant had probable cause to believe, and did believe, that in addition to the membership fees and seat fees, the Lodge Card Club was receiving an economic benefit through individuals gambling by selling food, beverages, alcoholic drinks, merchandise, streaming poker play, and hosting poker tournaments. As majority owners of Tempest Holdings, Inc., Polk, Abdallah, and Levin participated in the combination or in the profits of the combination regarding the economic benefits received by the gambling offenses of promotion of gambling and keeping a gambling place in violation of Texas Penal Code sections 47.03 and 47.04. So, the reason this is concerning is because the way this is worded, and I'm not an attorney, but the way I'm reading it, it looks like it's a direct attack on the business model that the majority of poker clubs in the state have been using, that they viewed as a loophole in the law. They're attacking, the membership fees, the seat fees, food service. They're viewing it all as an economic benefit. Now, they haven't filed any charges. It may not stick. There was a PLO professor. He had a club years ago in Michigan. He had gone through the authorities and I think the DA and things like that. He put out a video discussing it, where, he had gotten approval and, he thought he was doing just fine. And then I think he had opened in maybe April of 2022 or 2023. And then a few months later in June, he was getting raided and shut down. They didn't file charges against him until like a year later, but, they had confiscated a bunch of money. They were going to hit him with a bunch of felonies. And so he wound up, plea bargaining out of it. And, so it's kind of unsure how this is going to play out. Obviously, they haven't filed charges. They've used civil asset forfeiture. So they can essentially take your money and now you have to go to court to prove that the money is legitimate. And if you want to get it back, and it's to the tune of like $2 million. Not to mention how much money is being lost because they've been shut down for over a month. They and TCH here in the market were doing great. They both had, anywhere from, 12 to 20 cash games a day, multiple tournaments. The market was good. The action was good. And now they're closed. So I don't know how it's going to play out. I don't know if any charges will ever come about, if this is all going to eventually go away, if, Doug and crew are going to try to, go to court and get the money back or what's going to happen. But if this winds up being a case where they win, the authorities win, and they win on the basis that, the economic benefit basis, that essentially, I would imagine, would shut down all the clubs here in Texas and force games underground where you're paying, $15 plus a hand in rake. So it's scary. I had a group that I've had a number of people over the years that have reached out to me after I did my video about my time with Poker House and Austin Social Lounge and things I felt, were being done wrong, not only from a marketing standpoint, but from structuring games and things like that. And so I've had people reach out to me from seeing that video that wanted me to consult with them on poker rooms or work with them on poker rooms. And it's always been a big waste of my time, it seems. Nothing ever really happened. People didn't have the investors or the money, or, I had a group that I thought was going to be solid recently that reached out to me late last year. So we have been in talks about, getting a poker room opened up here in the state. And then the lodge thing happened, and obviously they got spooked off. So I still have, some people out there that have some interest in it. Obviously, despite the lodge being closed, there's, I don't know, like 80 to 100 plus other poker clubs in the state that are still running. So we've got the World Series of Poker is about to be, well, actually, by the time I put this video out, the World Series of Poker will have already started at Texas Card House here in Austin. So that's going to be, insane and massive. There's been a lot of speculation back and forth about, oh, well, they didn't go after TCH because that's in Travis County and the lodge is in Williamson County. But there's other people who have, pulled a bunch of records and things, and they're saying that TCH is actually in Williamson County. It's like, it's right near the line. So I don't know what's true or what's not true. I do know that TCH is still operating. They don't seem overly concerned about the potential for being raided. I've had people reach out to me with, speculation that TCH was behind it. Doug, in his video that he put out, said he doesn't believe they would be. So I don't know. Obviously, they're benefiting from it to an extent. They're getting an increase in business. But if the lodge goes down and these particular charges are actually filed and stick, it destroys the business model as far as I can tell. So hopefully there's light at the end of the tunnel, and that will resolve in a more positive manner. I don't know what that would be. Obviously, there are also people who are like, oh, we need regulation, and let's legalize it. Well, yes and no. The problem with getting a regulating body in here is that these mom and pop poker clubs will go away. They won't be grandfathered in. Like, in Florida, you've got the dog tracks and the horse tracks that were grandfathered in, so they can still have poker, but you've got the casinos as well. If they legalized the gambling here in Texas, it's going to be all big money casinos, like, Las Vegas and all those companies. They're already trying to get casinos in here. Obviously, Oklahoma, Louisiana have a vested interest in not having casinos in Texas because they get a lot of traffic from the state that goes to their properties. So they don't want the competition. But if it was legalized in this state, you're going to see, companies with hundreds of millions or billions of dollars who are coming into the state who, their main focus is opening the casinos and, the slot machines and the table games. Poker is kind of the black sheep of a casino property, right? It costs more, I believe, per square foot than a lot of the other products that they offer, and it generates less money. There's more moving parts, there's more staff. So it's not something that these casinos are thrilled to offer. It's kind of a necessary evil in some ways. And, you'll be going to, you'll be dealing with the corporations. It won't be poker by the players for the players where you're paying, an hourly fee, which is very reasonable compared to paying rake. They'll be raking you, $6 plus $2 or $3 jackpot drop. Like it's not great. So I don't know, what the future is going to hold there. Obviously, I was excited for the potential to be involved with the poker club and, kind of put my spin on some of the promotions, the marketing, the structures to make it more friendly for the recreational players, give it a more fun vibe. But that is on hold. We'll see how everything plays out. We might not know for a year or more what happens, if charges are ever filed. So that is what I have to say on the lodge. And then an update on the channel. So obviously, because I promoted, Club GG and Coin Poker and things like that in the past, YouTube's not a big fan of that. And so it has kind of limited my reach. It's reduced my views, and it's age restricted some of my content. And so I'm looking for kind of a fresh start. So I'm working on a new channel. It's going to be called Golden Voice Gaming, and I'll include a link in the description down below. But it's going to be, I believe it's at Golden Voice Live here on YouTube. And so if you want to subscribe to it now, you can. I don't have any content on it yet. But my thought process is by going with Golden Voice Gaming, I'm not pigeonholing myself into poker or into PLO. I could be doing, I could do content on video games. I could do content on casino games. It gives me the potential to reach a broader, wider audience. And obviously, I won't be promoting any of the online gaming. So that way I can hopefully avoid, strikes or age restrictions or, just YouTube kind of throttling my views and my reach. And my plan is that I want to do challenges in a lot of my content. So, I watch other vloggers like Jeff Boski. He had done a challenge where he was trying to win enough money to get himself a new Rolex. And that's cool. I'm not spending $10,000 to $20,000 on a fucking watch. I don't wear watches. I have a clock on my phone. Watches do nothing for me. And, there are people obviously who think stuff like that is cool. But I don't know how well something like that translates to the masses, how relatable it is, right? So I want to do things that are more relatable to more people, a wider audience. So, maybe I'm trying to win enough money to buy the new PlayStation, or can I afford to pay rent this month? Can I afford to replace the tires on my car? Things like that. The first video is actually going to be, I had an older graphics card that was like, I don't know, 5 or 6 years old in my system. And, it's playing all my games just fine. It's doing my editing just fine, but it's starting to get louder. The fans are starting to whine and make more noise. And I'm concerned that, it was going to be kind of reaching its end of life. And so it was time to start looking at an upgrade or a replacement. And the price of graphics cards is insane. So the challenge is that I'm trying to win, and upgrade a new graphics card. And so the potential with that video is that not only can I reach poker players, but I can reach video gamers, right? Because the challenge is related to a product that they have an interest in. And video gamers and poker, there's a synergy there, right? There's a potential for me to reach people that might not normally tune into a poker vlog, but because of the challenge and the product that's attached to it, now, hey, let me check this out. And then maybe some of them like it and they continue following along. I wanted to do, like, my wife loves Hello Kitty. She has shelves and shelves of Hello Kitty stuffed animals and this, that, and the other thing. So maybe we show one of the shelves and it's completely empty and I'm trying to win enough money to fill the shelf. And so you've got Hello Kitty fanatics, man. They are insane about Hello Kitty. So they normally aren't going to be watching a poker vlog. But if there's a bunch of Hello Kitty in the thumbnail and, I'm trying to win a bunch of Hello Kitty for my wife, maybe they'll tune in. Maybe some of them will like it. Who knows? Trying to think some other ideas I had was, you can do not only just, realistic stuff, you can do some kind of fun, wacky stuff. So, my wife was kidnapped by ninjas and I have to pay for kung fu lessons to get her back, just stuff like that. So that's kind of my thought process. And the reason I haven't launched the channel just yet, or, put content out on it, is that I was learning some new editing software that's given me some, new animations and features and things like that. And so I wanted to make sure I kind of got that down. And I wanted to make sure that I had like 4 full vlogs ready to go before I launch the channel. So I have a month's worth of content. I've got shorts from that ready to go as well. And that way I don't have that pressure. Like, as soon as I launch, like, oh shit, I got to get another one out for next week. Like, no, I've got a month's worth of content, and now I can kind of get feedback from people who are watching the content that I put out and kind of adjust as I go. So I have the first vlog done. It's ready to go, but I'm working on the second one now, and I have 2 more after that. So I appreciate you guys being patient. I know it's been a long time since I've put out, the live content and stuff, but I'm excited to do it, and hopefully you guys will enjoy it. But anyway, I've rambled fucking enough, as I usually do. I'm going to show you a sneak peek of the first vlog for that channel. And again, the link to that new channel will be down below in the description. So please, it would help so much if you guys went and subscribed to the channel, hit the bell button, because when it finally does launch and those videos go out, if the first video gets good response right off the bat, YouTube usually pushes new channels' content out a little bit more. So if it's getting good responses from my existing subscribers from this channel, that will help it reach a wider audience, and we can grow it, baby. So anyway, thanks a lot. Hope you guys like it. Please leave some comments down below. We'd love to hear your thoughts on the lodge, Texas, the legal system here, and obviously the sneak peek you're about to see. I'm Anthony with Golden Voice Gaming. In this episode, my 6-year-old graphics card is starting to sound a little rough. The problem is, I've only got $200, and graphics card prices are insane. But I'm not going to let that stop me. I'm taking my money to the poker table. My goal? To win $1,400, enough to buy the brand new NVIDIA RTX 5080, an elite level card that will last me for years. For those new to poker, there's a quick explanation coming up. Otherwise, skip ahead about 30 seconds to get straight to the action. You already know Texas Hold'em, 2 cards in your hand, 5 shared community cards. Use any combination of all 7 cards to make your best 5-card hand. However, in Pot Limit Omaha, you get 4 cards in your hand. This means bigger hands, more action, and larger pot sizes. The twist is that you must use exactly 2 cards from your hand and 3 from the board. Here we can't make the flush, but that doesn't matter because we actually made a full house instead. We've taken our $200 to the Lodge Card Club in Round Rock, Texas. One of the owners, a high-stakes pro named Doug Polk, is going to be playing in the PLO games tonight, and that's sure to create tons of action.